Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are watching the Jets Report by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and it is officially NFL trade deadline day. So, coming up on today's show, we're going to be discussing the last-minute Jets trade rumors around a couple of the marquee players on this Jets roster. But let me get you guys' thoughts on this. Over/under 1.5 trades today for the Jets. How are you feeling? Do you think Darren Mougey is going to get active, or do you think he's going to stand pat? You guys let me know your thoughts. Give me an O for over. Give me a U for under. If I had to make my call on this, I'd be probably typing my unders down below. But maybe you guys disagree with me. Let me know. Over under 1.5 trades for the Jets today. All right, so we're going to talk about Breece Hall getting traded for one last time. Honestly, kind of getting sick and tired of talking about the latest Breece Hall trade rumors, but his name has been floated around in the latest NFL trade rumors for the last couple of months. Now, after sleeping on it, kind of gathering some intel, I doubt that Breece Hall gets traded today before the NFL trade deadline. I think the Jets are more than comfortable keeping him on the roster, and I think if they don't trade him today, I think that probably means the Jets will eventually extend him this offseason. Honestly, if I was Jets, I would try to get this deal done today because the market is always going to go up at the running back position. The salary cap's always going to increase in the NFL, and I think you could offer Breece Hall maybe a 2-year, $26 million deal, which in my opinion is more than fair for his level of play at the running back position. So I doubt he gets traded today. However, if he does get dealt, I think it's going to mean that somebody is going to overpay. Where I'm talking like the Kansas City Chiefs, who did not have a run game this past week in Buffalo. Maybe they're like, hey, screw it. We're trying to go win another Super Bowl. We're trying to continue this dynasty. Maybe we'll throw the New York Jets a second and a fifth-round pick for Breece Hall. And if that trade is on the table, I mean, if you're the Jets front office, you almost have to take that deal because you could just replace Breece Hall with that second-round pick and also get more draft capital for the Jets trying to build out this roster, get more Aaron Glenn guys in the building. So I doubt Breece Hall gets traded today, but if he does, it's going to require an overpay. And I think the only team that would be willing to overpay is the Kansas City Chiefs. But let's talk about number 2 here, Will McDonald. Honestly, I think Will McDonald has a better chance to get traded compared to Breece Hall. And if I had to call my shot right here, I think Will McDonald's going to be traded to the San Francisco 49ers today. And I think he's going to get dealt. Now, obviously, in terms of like Aaron Glenn guys, Will McDonald kind of feels like the polar opposite of that. Is not good against the run. I mean, when Glenn was with the Detroit Lions, like if you could not stop the run, if you could stop, not set the edge, you would not play for Aaron Glenn's defense. That has been the calling card for Detroit for the last couple of seasons. Like they would have some true pass rush specialists come in on third and long situations, but if you're not an early down guy who can stop the run, you won't play. And that's what we saw with Will McDonald so far this season, only playing about 40% of snaps. And I think Jets fans, I think you guys are going to be a little ticked off if this trade does go down because you're probably only going to get an early day 3 pick for him. I mean, those true pass rushers, and I understand Will McDonald was a first-round pick, but he hasn't played like a first-round pick. Even his pass rush ability, it's been all right this season, but there's a lot of meat left on that bone in terms of him, really, developing into one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. So I think you're probably going to maybe get a 4th, 5th, probably more likely a 5th-round pick for Will McDonald. But I think if anybody gets traded today, I'd probably put my money on Will McDonald even more than a guy like Breece Hall, even though Breece Hall's name has been, all over the latest NFL trade rumors. So I think Will McDonald potentially gets dealt today. But how about Quincy Williams here, linebacker for the New York Jets? Now, in my opinion, if I were the Jets, I would be a little hesitant to trade Quincy Williams because, listen, Quincy Williams, even though he graded out pretty bad against the Cincinnati Bengals, I thought he had a hell of a game. He was flying all over the football field. He was, pretty damn good in the limited times that the Jets were able to stop the run this 2 Sundays ago against Cincinnati. But I think he's brings some, juice to this defense. And, we really saw it when he was out of the lineup. Like this defense didn't really feel the same. Like he's kind of that connecting piece. He is that glue to this defense. So if I were the Jets, probably wouldn't trade Quincy Williams because also the draft capital you're going to get in return, really doesn't really equal his value that he has out there on the football field. So I would stay put on Quincy Williams. But if any of these guys do get traded, we'll make a video for you guys ASAP. We're going to be in the office all day today. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button today. Lock us in as you go to Jets YouTube channel and help us also reach 11,000 subs here on YouTube. I think we're less than 30 away. So if you guys could help us out, that would be fantastic. Hit that subscribe button today. Now, we'll talk about 2 more players here on the Jets roster here in a second. But before we do so, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, the hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. And PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick up to the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So, for example, if you want to pick more on Justin Fields, pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns this weekend against the Cleveland Browns, well, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. And another cool feature they have is that you can actually follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new Feed tab on PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Now we're going to talk about Other Williams on the Jets defense. That's going to be Quinnen Williams here, star defensive tackle, having a fantastic year for this defense. Really has been, one of the lone bright spots defensive for the Jets this season. And I just think there's no chance they trade Quinnen. I think obviously teams are going to be calling, as they should. Quinnen's a hell of a player. If I was a GM in the National Football League, I would be calling the New York Jets to see if he's potentially available. But I think the Jets' asking price would be way too high for teams and what they want to potentially give up. Like, I think it starts with a first-round pick, and then you probably got to attach, maybe a third-rounder or an early day 3 pick to pry Quinnen Williams from the New York Jets. But I would stay put on Quinnen. He's a hell of a player. He really is an Aaron Glenn guy, and you just can't replace those star defensive tackles like Quinnen Williams. Like, they are a dime a dozen. There's only a couple of them in the National Football League, like Jeffrey Simmons, Dexter Lawrence, like Chris Jones still playing at a high level. You can't really just find these guys and just hope that the draft pick you could potentially get for Quinnen turns into him. That is extremely, extremely unlikely, even if it is a top 10 pick potentially in the draft. So I don't think there's a good chance that the Jets trade Quinnen unless a team's like, hey, screw it, we'll give you a first and a second. Then maybe it could potentially go down, but I just don't see that happening. And then another guy that I don't think is going to get traded is Jermaine Johnson. For some reason, NFL insiders continue to put Jermaine Johnson in articles and headlines, and frankly, I don't understand it because Jermaine Johnson already posted on Twitter saying, like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. He posted that one Wolf of Wall Street meme. The Jets pretty much already confirmed that they have no plans to move JJ, so I think he's going to stay on this team as he should. Like, if you're moving off an edge rusher, it should be Will McDonald, not Jermaine Johnson. I mean, Jermaine Johnson is, a much better football player than Will McDonald because he's actually been pretty impressive against the run this year. I mean, we have gone over the numbers when he is on the field compared to when he is off the field, not only, in the run game, but also getting home to the quarterback. He is a guy you can build around. And those guys defensively, Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner. Those are the only 3 untouchables on this Jets defense. But to conclude, I think it's going to be a quiet NFL trade deadline for the Jets. I would not be shocked if they make 0 trades today, even though they probably should. I mean, you're a 1-7 football team. And maybe it could, maybe Michael Carter was the one move they already made. But today, I think they're probably going to stand pat and just let this whole NFL trade deadline play out. So I think it's going to be quiet for the New York Jets. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, hit me with the Go Jets down below in the comments section. We appreciate all of you guys for watching this entire thing. And if you did watch this entire thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trying to close in here on 11,000 subs. So hit that subscribe button today. See y'all next time. As always, Go Jets.